per a classroom. Thank you.
It's ongoing. It will be discussed again and again. It's ongoing. Surely we're not.
Don Woods is the name, not so much a question as it is just a general statement. I hope that Mr. Waterman would be here. I want to commend him. Bob brought up the deal about the right to work. He stood with us on the right to work issue, and Bob is not. I'm with Bob's brother. I felt like we had a let down there in our representation at that point. We spent hours on the phone, sending emails, and hours on our feet up at the State House not to be heard. A lack of representation.
Thank you. You were heard, and that made the issue difficult. What we passed, if I may, and I don't want to dwell on it because it is the law now, and we'll see how it works, and I hope for the best. But what we passed allowed or did not interfere with what I call the exemption for construction and building trades. They're not affected by it because of federal law. So that aspect isn't a problem. And it was, in my personal investigation and reading the material and talking to people, it wasn't so much wages and benefits that was the issue, but work rules. And the question arose is the old adversarial union model, does that work well in today's society when we need a team approach to solving problems? A representative of manufacturing concerns told me that he wants to work. He said, I don't mind, we're not opposed to paying competitive wages and benefits, but when it takes 3 months to assign someone to a new task and endless meetings, it's just too much in today's society and technology. We need the flexibility to have a team approach to our problem solving, and didn't think the adversarial unions type of approach was good in today's industrial society. I don't know, but making a mistake, I hope it's for the, I don't think that people who have a good functioning union are going to desert the union. I really don't believe that. Union people I talk to, when I ask them if they would quit the union if this passed, they said, heavens no. So I don't think a good functioning union will be hurt. I do think that we've had some major inquiries in the state of Indiana. I hope they come to fruition because of our history in Indiana of a strong manufacturing basis. I hope it does come to fruition and we do have more employment opportunities for good wages and good benefits. Some of them may be union and some of them may be non-union, but at least I think it opens the dialogue to a different approach to problem solving within those particular industries. So, no, you were heard loud and clear.
Yeah. Well, Don, I appreciate the comment. You know, Indiana becomes a 23rd state to be a right-to-work state coming up next month. But those, you look at South Carolina, you look at Alabama and Arizona, been right-to-work states for many, many years. And the last 10 years, they've had an increase in their union membership. You know, but you would have thought, gosh, if they were right-to-work, they would probably go down like Indiana and around here, other states have gone down in union membership. But it just doesn't mean that, you know, I think it boils down to, you know, if a person like my brother Tom, who's paying 3.9% of his money into the union, the local as well as the international, you know, and Tom feels like he's getting his money's worth. You know, and if he does, then he's going to continue to put the money in there. But if somebody who doesn't, then he or she may say, well, hey, maybe I'm going to drop out of the union, you know. But it boils down to the individual and what that person feels like he's going to get his money's worth. I think it was in a Terrell paper recently that that a union representative said that, well, we're going to have to, you know, convey to our members what exactly they're getting for their membership dues. isn't that a good thing? You know, I don't see anything wrong with that. And if those people feel like that they're getting their money's worth, then I think they're going to continue to pay money into the union.
This is a follow-up on that situation. If we apply the same scenario to our form of government, I'm paying your wages for my representation, and I don't believe in what you said for that situation. Should I be exempt from paying my taxes? The answer to that, we all know the answer to that. So we all pay our taxes for the good of everyone in this room and all of our things. Same way with the union situation. It's not going to be 100% agreement all the time.
You're right. You're right, Don.
You have a question?
My son lost his job in Boston Scientific where there was no union. Because of it, he was fired. He's on unemployment now. Been there 19 years.
I don't have the answer to all the individual problems, I really don't.
If he'd had a union, maybe this wouldn't have happened.
Maybe. And I just can't.
But they're non-union.
Yeah.
Because they don't want union.
Well, I've had.
And then Boston Scientific will eventually leave, and there'll be an empty building.
Within my family, I have union and non-union.
Huh?
Within my own personal family, like Bob's, I have union and non-union members. And some of them have radically different views. My brother had a very bad union experience. My cousin is a union electrician and has a very good experience.
I had some experience with the union too at RCA.
And I like the construction trade model where they do the apprenticeship and the training, and I'm a big fan. Been a supporter of the carpenters and builders, gone up to their facility, and so on.
Do we have any other questions? Did you have a question earlier? I thought I saw your hand up. There was behind Mike there. I don't know your name. Okay. Okay. I thought you had a question earlier. Does anybody else have any other questions?
There we go.
There's one.
Bob, this question is to you. I understand that there's been some talk in the legislature about doing away with high school class basketball and counting attendance of the games. Has there been any more progress in that?
Always in your court.
Well, I'm not, I haven't heard. I know Senator Jean Lysine over there in the Senate introduced that bill, and I don't believe it got much traction over there. But you know, when I talk to people generally at the coffee shops, that type of thing, I hear people say, well, boy, Bob, I liked it the way it used to be, you know, type of thing when it comes to basketball.
Yeah.
But, and back in the day, that's the way it was, and we were fortunate enough to go to the Sweet 16 against Jeffersonville, and I wouldn't have traded that for anything back in '74. And a lot of the people in Clay City who remember those days, they feel the same way. And whether it's Cloverdale in '66 or Lagodi in '75 or
You all been in 73?
There's somebody's memory.
yeah, or, you know, whatever. But, so anyway, but it's, I don't know, it might be
But attendance is down in the ball games. I'm just
Oh,
wondering,
it sure
doing away with
is.
class basketball, how do you feel would help it or not?
that I don't know. I heard somebody said, well, there's so many options for people and computers and things like that. I don't know if that has anything to do with it, that will distract them from going to a high school game on a Friday night or Saturday night. But it is down here. You know, sectional play and so forth. And I know the Clay City girls won the other night. They're going to play Jacksonville today in the regional. But I know a lot of people from Clay City that are supporting that. But overall, it just, when we talk about Hoosier hysteria, it's really not, it doesn't seem to be Hoosier hysteria like it once was back in the day. So, and it's unfortunate.
Back in his day.
Back when Ann and I were back in high school. We had our,
Well, I married a Coast City man, and you were from Clay City, so I think maybe they were rivals, wasn't they, or something like that?
Something like that.
And I got the purple on, and you like it. But Worthington had purple too.
That's why the Ramblers from
The
Worthington.
Ramblers, that's where I'm from.
Thank you.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah. Tammy?
Tammy Snodgrass, I wanted to know how House Bill 1090 will help Owen County, or what benefits. I know 1090 is, it's up to the county council to adopt it, and would be where they waive the taxes or penalties on tax sale parcels.
No, I don't have, 1090, you're gonna have to refresh me just a little bit. I
Will the
apologize for not
waive
bringing
the
my
penalty
booklet.
and tax, or penalty and cost on parcels that are in tax sales. If they pay the taxes, that we will waive the penalties and interest.
I'm only partially aware of that legislation, and I thought that the rationale was that those communities that have a large number of parcels that aren't being purchased at tax sale or having significant problems, and it was thought that this might assist in getting those back on the tax rolls and so on. But I must confess, I haven't even read the synopsis, and I don't know the progress, and I apologize for forgetting my laptop so that I
Yeah.
could.
Tammy, I'll look into that and call you next week
Thank you.
pertaining to that, yeah. Do you happen to know the author of that, Tammy?
No, I don't.
Okay.
Well,
I just know that there's,
Friend.
1090.
Fred?
Bill Friend?
across the state, there's, different counties, county treasurers are in favor of it, and a lot of us, especially the smaller ones, are not in favor.
Right.
And my argument is, how do I justify that to taxpayers that pay on time? and
Right.
Or the ones that do pay a penalty? I mean, I look at it that if people know that, okay, if I don't pay my taxes on time, that I'm gonna get the penalties waived, so I'll just wait till it goes to tax.
Yeah.
And I don't think that's fair to the taxpayers that.
No, it
pay.
isn't. I don't know the progress of that, though.
Yeah.
All I know is that there was some rationale for these hard-hit communities with huge tax sales. One size doesn't fit all, but your point's well taken.
And Tammy, on the, look, I think it was House Bill 1087. I think I got a few calls or emails from people on town council. I think John Stantz sent me one, but it pertained to voted no against it, but he was basically indicating because of the amendment number 2 that was going to go into that, it was voted down, but that was going to make a, and I can't think of the total issue on that, but I got some feedback from that, but I think that was Jeff Thompson's amendment 2 into that bill, and it wasn't placed into that. So pertaining to town councils on that particular matter on House Bill 1087, it was fine the way it was. I think the vote was like 81 to something that passed, because that amendment number 2 wasn't in there.
Yeah, I'd like to advocate for an idea that its time has to be coming, that we update the way we vote in this state, or in at least the counties I've lived in, Morgan County and here. We're on this antiquated machine. I don't know why I can't go to a voting booth and be given a receipt that shows how I voted. Not that I don't trust, but I'd like to be able to verify.
Yeah. Well,
We're
I
going to
think-
update these machines someday. I mean, these things look like antiques.
Yep. Cost is a big factor, but technology should be available to do just that and still preserve the privacy of your vote. I mean, technology should be able to do exactly what you said. I don't know of any push in the legislature to do that at the present time.
I'll do that.
Yeah, we'll pass it on.
We'll be in touch.
But,
The voting machines have a
The
printer in them already.
big thing will be cost. The counties will want us to fund that because they won't have the money to convert to another system without it. Technology should be able to be developed to do exactly that. There's no reason why you couldn't. Yeah.
Roger Daniel. I never thought about it, but it kind of bothered me, and I don't know the man, and I'm not going to take it personal. I worked the polls for several years, and I think here in Owen County, we're not adequated. Now, the receipt part, I never heard anybody ever ask for that. And a little software adjustment, the printer's already there, because we got to print out the results. So, I never give that a thought. But I thought our machines are fairly simple. The biggest problem we have in our machines is there's two different color backgrounds, and the older machine, you can't change it. And the newer one, the color is better and it's easier for people to read. And that's working the polls. I'm more interested in making it user friendly, and we do a pretty good job, I think.
I think so.
But I never thought about a receipt, and that is, to me, a little software and the printer's already there. I mean, it could be done.
I think so.
I have a diabolical mind. There is a reason you don't print a receipt out, and that's because someone could buy a vote and insist on seeing how you vote. Bingo.
You're right.
We used to do that with printed.
There is opportunity to review your ballot before you press the cast button.
I served on our county election board for 10 or 12, 15 years. I can't even remember now how long it was. We had paper ballots and counted them till 3, 4, 5, 6 in the morning. And then we went to machines. And the first time we had these mechanical machines, we had the manufacturer representatives there to troubleshoot. We got a call from a certain precinct that was always a little suspect. And the machine mechanic came back. We didn't have cell phones either. He came back to the courthouse. What happened? And he said, well, I've been in this business for X number of years. I've never seen anything like that. I said, like what? He said, well, they had a lull, and they laid the machine down on its face and took a crowbar to the back just to take a peek to see what the vote count was. And he said, it's destroyed X hundreds or dollars machine. It was mechanical, but they just wanted to take a peek and see how the vote count was going and see what they needed. We redesigned the precinct later.
We got anybody else that's got any questions? We still got about 10 minutes or so.
I'd like to say thank you to Matt Michael for Owen County State Bank for facilitating the last 2 meetings and next month's meeting as well.
I won't be here next month.
Oh, okay.
I'm going to Chicago next month, remember?
Oh, yeah, that's right.
Yeah, so.
Well, thank you, Matt. You did a good job.
You'd rather be in Chicago than
Yeah.
here?
I'm going to visit a friend, that's why.
Okay. Well, you're allowed, I guess.
Anybody else? If not, we'll just wrap it up here.
Thank you, Owen County.
Thanks for
That's where I grew up. Gary. I grew up on a little place called Flat Rose.
I got my cell phone out. Give me one. Gary Bob.
All right. Let me write your name down.
And the half city limit was 9.5 to the west.
All my life.
Flat Rose was our bit of a region.
My mother used to say,